Welcome to today's session. I'm calling this one the lazy lying down session because basically we're lying down the whole time. I'm feeling a little, not lazy, but I just don't feel like standing up, getting a big sweat on today. Still going to be a great workout, but we're lying down most of the time. So actually all the time. So what you're going to need is we're going to do chest presses. So think of your chest press weight. I'm using two 15 pounds. We're going to do some triceps. So I'm using two 10 pounds for that. And then we're going to do some banded work for our legs and also some bands with the arms. So you can just have a few around to see and kind of play with what feels good for you. I'm gonna do, it's called a heavy. It's actually like the medium one in my range of bands. It's still, even though it says heavy, it's pretty stretchy. But I might keep my medium and light around as well. I do have heavier ones, so this isn't like the heaviest. But yeah, so maybe play around, see what feels good for you. As always, turn on your music, get comfy. This is a good one. You can just be doing this in whatever you're currently wearing. Because like I said, we're lying down for most of it. So we're gonna start, just bring your weights kind of near you for when we're gonna need them in a couple minutes after our warm up. So I'll just put mine kind of on either side of me here, my chest ones, and then I'll just grab the tricep ones after. So we're gonna start on our backs with our warm up today. So yeah, I don't even have to put your hair up today. Not getting sweaty. Well, we'll see. I say that, but we'll see how it goes. So we're gonna start just with our hugs. So that's when you can just hug yourself here, really stretching those back muscles, and then opening your chest. You can extend your arms out if you don't have something beside you, but it doesn't really matter. We're just thinking of kind of arching our back slightly to open that chest, and then our shoulder blades kind of slightly lift off the mat here as we hug ourselves. Just warming up our mobility here. We'll do two more. And last one. And then we're going to do some arm arcs. So we'll start in our neutral position. And we're going to just reach our arms up. And you're going to reach as far as you can, keeping that neutral spine. So you might not touch all the way down, depending on whatever your mobility is and your range of motion. But if you can't touch all the way down, this is then maybe a good exercise to do on days off, just to work on that range of motion. So we're keeping our ribs knit down, and as I said, our spine in neutral. For two more. And last one. And then hopefully you don't have too much stuff too close to you. So, oh my gosh, I don't even know what's on my shirt. Don't look at my shirt, there's like stains on it or something. You can start with your arms by your side, and we're just gonna do arm arcs up. Okay, I'm gonna move. Hopefully your stuff's not as close to you as mine is. So we're gonna do an arm arc up. Okay, and I'm gonna move this microphone down. There we go. Arm arc up, and then arm arcs down by the side. So your hands can be touching the ground the whole time, dragging along the ground, or you can have them slightly raised off the ground, whatever's feeling good. Again, just warming up the shoulder socket, or shoulder muscles, not joint mobility. For two more here. I'm hitting so many things. And last one. It's hard to know how close to position the camera so that I'm not like so far away, but also trying to get the shot because I don't want to like move all my stuff around, you know. Anyways, and then we're going to do some hip circles. So you can just bring one leg up to tabletop, and you can put both hands on your knee or just one hand, and you're just going to gently move that thigh bone around the hip
joint. So it's kind of like if your knees pointed towards the ceiling, you're drawing circles on the ceiling. And just do one more in this direction. And then when you get up to the top, just reversing, circling around. For one more here. And then we'll switch sides. This is one of the first things you learn in mat Pilates is just kind of these mobility exercises. And I remember thinking they were so boring and such a waste of time. Because I was like, they're so easy, like whatever. But now as I'm getting older, that was several years ago now, I know how important they are. And then you can reverse your circles for warm up, for cool down, just for day-to-day life. Sometimes if you can't get in a full workout, it's good to just do some mobility. And two more here. And last one. And then we'll just do some hamstring stretch so you can bring your leg, that same leg, to tabletop. And you're just going to stretch up towards the ceiling and then bend at the knee. So we're just bending and stretching at the knee. You can have your foot flexed, or you can point your toes, or just hang loosey-goosey. Just 3 more here. And 2. And 1. Bring that leg down. We'll do it on the other side. So just bending and straightening. Just 3 more here. For 3. And 2. And last 1. Okay, so now we're going to be doing our chest presses to start. So if you've pushed your weights out of the way, go find them. As I said, I'm using 2 15-pound weights, and the weights I use are always written in the descriptions of the videos. And I'd encourage you to always kind of note down what you're working on, so then the next time you do a video, you don't have to like try to use your brain to remember. Your brain's full of enough stuff. And then you can also see like, maybe I've been at 15 pounds on my chest for a month now or something. I guess I'm not maybe pushing myself enough, so maybe I'll try next time, 17 pounds or 20 pounds or whatever. Because sometimes you don't realize how long you've been working at the same weight. Okay, so carefully grab your heavy weights, and then you're going to come back down into our neutral spine position. My hands are at about like a 45-degree angle. I just have to move over a little so I don't hit my reformer. And then we're just going to bend at the elbows, kind of making like an A shape or an upside down V, and then pressing up. That kind of 45-degree angle, like I said. Because yeah, sometimes you just get in a routine with your weights, right? You think like, oh, 15 is my chest weight, and then you don't realize like, I've been doing this for a long time. I could probably move up in weights because I know it gets nice and comfortable. So really think of your chest muscles here doing the work. Turn on that mind-body connection to fire those muscles even more. And we're not stopping at the top or the bottom. We've got 3 more. And 2. And 1. And then carefully bend at the elbows, bring yourself up. You can just place your weights kind of by your side, get them out of the way for a little bit, but off of your mat because we're going to have our legs down there for in a minute. So now we're going to do a little bit of a drop set for our chest. You can do this, actually since today's a lying down one, let's do this first one. Actually, I'll do it sitting up, but you can do it lying down. I'll show you sitting up and then I might move to lying down. So you're going to grab your loop band. You're going to take the band in both hands, and they're kind of like pointed in the same direction. So I'm going to take my right hand on my left shoulder. My left hand is like pressing out now in front, and it's like we're doing a chest press here with the band. So again, think of your chest, my left pec doing the work here. And again, like I said, you can do this lying down. I'm just doing it so that you can see better here. If I'm lying down, you can't see quite as well. And we're just going to do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switching sides. So now my other hand's coming to my opposite shoulder or kind of chest area, and then pressing out. And I've grabbed a band that is tight enough that I'm always keeping tension. So it's never going slack. Breathing for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Have your loop band nearby. Grab your tricep weight. So generally that's less weight than your chest weight. For me, I'm doing 2 10-pounds. Carefully come back down. And we're going to do our skull crushers. So our palms are facing forward. We have that neutral spine. Just bending at the elbows and straightening. So my wrist is strong. My wrists aren't bending. And I'm trying to keep, I'll just show you with one arm here, like I'm trying to keep the tricep area perpendicular to the mat. So I'm trying to keep my elbows pointed up towards the ceiling. Using that breath and make that mind-body connection. Think of the backs of your arms here doing the work. And they help with our chest presses just naturally. So you might be a little bit more fatigued than normal already since your triceps were just working a bit. We're going to do 4 more here. 4, 3, 2, and last 1. Make it a good one. Ooh. Carefully put those weights down. We're going to do the same kind of setup we just did with the band for our chest. So opposite arm, hand against kind of shoulder chest area. But now we're doing a tricep press. So instead of like pushing forwards, you're going to push down. And you're going to straighten or bend and straighten at the elbow. Again, try to keep that wrist pretty strong. If you're lying down like me, your arm is just hovering off the mat. It's not resting on the mat. And if you don't like to do this lying down, obviously you can do it sitting up or standing up as well. But since this is kind of like our lazy lying down day, you can just stay lying. For 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll go to the other side. Same idea here. Just bending and straightening at the elbow. So check in and make a note. How did you feel after that last chest set and after this tricep set? We've got 4 more here. And 3, 2, and 1. Because remember, the goal is to do like more than 6 reps, ideally like at least 8, and less than probably 20 reps. If you felt like you could easily do like 20 and you could have kept going, it's time to increase your weight. So now we're going to take the loop band. I would do a heavier one, or like as heavy as you kind of can here, because we're going to do some bridging. So the loop band is above my knees on my thighs. My feet today are about a hand's distance from my bum. And we're going to start with an articulated bridge. So we're starting this neutral position. Your arms are down by your side to help you for the first couple. And I have some tension in my band, so my band isn't slack. We're going to prepare with an inhale. As you exhale, think of curling your tailbone forward, rolling up through your spine, bone by bone, up to your bridge. Pause at the top here. My ribs are still knit down. I'm not like popping up and arching. Pause here, and then come down bone by bone through your spine, each bone coming down to the mat one at a time. Prepare with an inhale. Exhale, curling up, bone by bone. Pause for a second, open up your hip creases. Come down bone by bone through the spine. Continuing here at your pace, keeping some tension in that band. As always, if you want to make it harder, lift your fingers off of the mat. Oops, I just went down. I forgot to roll down bone by bone as I was talking. Other harder option is arms fully off the mat. Coming down that upper back first, then mid back, then low back, and tailbone last. And then reversing up. We're just going to do 2 more like this. Think of reaching your knees over your toes. Last one here. On this last one, we're going to pause at the top to bring your arms down here for some support. You're going to transfer the weight to your left foot. Bring your right leg up to tabletop. Lower your right leg down. Transfer the weight to your right leg. Left leg up to tabletop. Left leg comes down. Keep transferring the weight. Take your time here, nice and controlled. And as you do this, check in that your hips are staying level. So if you had a level on your hips, that little bubble thing would be in the middle. And you're keeping your bridge height. Breathing. One more on each side. If you've started to sink down, come back up for these last couple. Bring your feet down, stay up at the top here. We're going to flare our knees out and in, out and in. Keep that height. Hips are level. Shoulders are relaxed. Jaws relaxed. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down with control, bone by bone. And then you can slip that band off because again, we're going to use it for our chest and triceps. If your chest weights have gone far away, come back, come up and grab them. Doing another round of chest. Same thing that we just did last time, nothing new or fancy. Take your time coming down. Press up. So you're in that kind of 45-degree like A press. And then I always need to move over a little bit for my reformer. And then coming down. And then up. See, if I move my mat like away from the reformer too much, then I need to move the camera back, and then I'm afraid like the shot will be so far away. I don't know, it's hard to plan where to go here. Again, think of these chest muscles pressing. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully bring the weights down and place them down. Grab your band for those chest presses. So I'm going to start just with my left arm doing the press. So bending and straightening at the elbow. Really think of that left chest muscle. Because obviously your shoulders, triceps, like a lot of things are working when you're doing chest presses. But we really want to think of that chest doing the work here. For 3, 2, and 1. Other side. Get set up here. And at any point, you can always pause the video. Like if the weights you're using, yeah, you think you could have done more than what I was counting. And if you don't want to increase your weight today, maybe you don't have access to heavier weights, pause the video and just do more reps until you're like maybe 2 away from your form starting to fail. Then you're at failure, and then you can resume the video. We've got 2 more here, and you can join us for like these band exercises or something else. Good. That's the beauty of videos, is you can always pause them. It's not like you're in a live class that, you know, you're fumbling through the weights and you don't think you got a great workout because maybe you didn't have enough. So grabbing our tricep weights, we're going to do those skull crushers again. So palms facing each other, bending at the elbows, and straightening. Now I really like to do skull crushers for triceps because they're really effective. Like the way that I need to look into this more because I do not understand physics, even though I feel like I should, because it's like my family knows physics. But the way that the muscle is loaded in this move for your triceps is like superior to other tricep exercises like dips or something. Okay, we've got 3 more here. So there's nothing wrong if you like doing dips, do dips. It's just not as effective as a tricep workout. See, I'm near failure here because my form is almost starting to compromise. Last one for me. And then, like I said, if you could have done more, keep going. You could also add little pulses too, if you don't want to do full range ones, to keep going if you need to. Grabbing my band, again, I'm going to start on my left arm. So bending and straightening the left arm here at the elbow, pressing down, thinking of the back of my arm doing that pressing, not like my wrist or anything. Yeah, and then conversely, if you are struggling, like the weights you picked today, you know, some days we're just not as strong as others, or maybe you've gone up in heavier weight and you can't finish the set along with me. That's cool. You stop when you are near that failure point, and then just rejoin us when we move on to the next exercise. For 2 and 1, other side, bending and straightening. Because even though I'm leading these, this is also like my body doing these things. And you got to pay attention to what your body's saying, if it can do more or maybe less. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Placing that band around above our knees again. This time we're going to do a wide stance for our bridge. So get your weights out of the way. I'm being really lazy today and just staying down on the mat as I try to drag my weights around. Do it in a safe way though. Okay, so my feet are about the width of the mat. Toes slightly turned out. My band is quite stretched right now. So now instead of articulating our spine up and curling up, we're just going to do our neutral spine lift and lower. So lifting your hips up and then inhaling to lower. Exhaling, lifting up, inhaling to lower. And since we don't have any like weights on us, I mean, we're using a band, but you can do this at a pretty decent pace just to get a little bit more burn, not pausing at the top or the bottom. Oh, see my breathing now. I've started to exhale on the way down. As I said, as long as you are breathing, that's important. We're going to go for 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to come up again. We're going to do little pulses up and down. So your hips are going to lower an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, keeping our ribs knit together. So we're still in that kind of neutral spine. We're not arching our back. Shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down with control. We're going to do kind of like a butterfly bridge now. So your feet are together and they're kind of at an angle. If you don't like this, if this doesn't feel good on your feet, you can do heels together and toes apart in our Pilates V, as we call it, instead. You basically just want to have your knees nice and wide for this one. So you're going to lift up into your bridge and then lower down. Lifting up and lowering down. Kind of a similar move. Well, the pattern's similar, it's just our stance is different. Again, moving a little bit faster maybe than normal, since we don't have like a ball or we're not holding a weight. And we're just going to do 3, 2, and 1. And then we're going to come up to the top here, pause. Now we're going to close our legs, get the inner thighs working a bit here, and then opening. Closing and opening. Keeping that height in our hips. Breathing. For 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then lowering down. All right, you can just leave the band actually on your legs because we're going to need it in a little bit. We're doing our last round of chests and triceps, but we're not using the band this time. We're going to do pulses instead. So carefully grab your heavy weights. Get ready for these chest presses, getting set up, and then bending and straightening. Again, just kind of barely tapping the backs of your arms down. Oops. Move to the side a bit. There we go. Breathing. Wrists are nice and strong. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, this is our final thing for our chest, our burnout. We're going to stay low and just do 10 pulses here, up an inch, down an inch. You got it. I've lost count, but I think we have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. One big press up if you can. Carefully bring the weights down. So we are done with our heavy weights. You can get them and make sure they're out of the way because you just don't, we're going to be along on our side doing some like leg kicking stuff. You just want to be kicking them later. Okay. Now our triceps. So this is again the last of our tricep moves. Same idea. We're going to do our full range ones and then pulse it out. So coming up, palms face each other, shoulder distance apart, bending at the elbows and straightening. Bending and straightening. I don't think I have that many in me today of these. All right, I think we got 5. I'm not going to make it to 5. We've got 4. I think I only have 2 left in me, but you guys keep going. 2. Okay, you guys do 2 more if you can. And then we're going to do our pulses. So pulse it out here. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys keep going. I can't do anymore. I'm done. So you're pulsing for 4, 3, 2, and 1. So that's listening to your body. When you're done and you cannot do good form, you're done. Because we don't want injury. You don't want you like dropping your weight. Okay. Kind of swing yourself up. I always can't do as much. And if you can't do as much on your triceps today as normal, it's because we just did like chest stuff with it when I guess that your triceps are working as well. Okay. We're going to finish with some side lying work. So I like to, I'm going to take this off. I like to time these so that they're equal on each leg. Okay. So I have my band above my knees, and yeah, this is a good one. Good resistance level. So it's kind of stretchy. It's not like impossible for me to open my leg. So with our sideline, you want to be set up in a good form. So I have a neutral spine. I'm not like arching my back too much. I'm not sticking out my butt too much. And you can have your head under your hands. You can be lying down, whatever feels good. Hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked. And, oh, resume. I guess I paused that. Okay. We're going to start with clam. So our feet are kind of in line with our bum. Knees are a bit forward. And we're keeping our feet together as we open our knees apart and then bring them back together. We're just going to do each of these exercises for 30 seconds. If the band is too much for you, either go to a lesser band or no band. And as we do this, our hips are staying stacked. We're not starting to like lean backwards. Good. And then I'm trying to look at my, oh yeah, for my notes. Your leg is out nice and straight here, and you're lifting and lowering. So your bottom leg is still bent for support. To make this harder, your bottom leg is either straight and you kind of, your toes are at the front corner of your mat, like you're like shaped like a banana. And to make this even harder, your leg is totally straight. And you can do that for the rest of these. The next one, I'm going to go back to bent, is our inverted rainbow. So your leg is out nice and straight. You're going to turn your thigh bone down. So my big toe is pointed down and my heel is pointed up towards the ceiling. I'm going to stay in this position, this turned in position. I'm going to tap my big toe down to the ground and then bring it back up with my heel pointed like back towards me or back behind me. Big toe taps down, heel reaches behind me. So yeah, if you're having trouble stabilizing and maybe your torso is moving all over the place, that means bend your bottom knee. But if you're finding this rather easy, you can always straighten that leg or do that like banana shape. We've got one more here. Oh, I need to take a break. These next ones are killer. Okay, so this is our inverted clam. If you find this too hard, go back to that clam we started with where your feet are down. This one, though, you're in your clam position, so your heels are kind of in line with your bum, your knees are forward. Now you're going to lift your heels up into the air. You're going to keep your legs together, or you're going to keep your feet together and open your knees. So our feet are in the air as we are opening and closing. If this is too hard, go back to regular clam again. We've got 2 and 1. Oh my goodness. Okay, next move is our arabesque. So this one, you are going to bring your leg like to the corner of your mat. So you're kind of shaped like a banana, like a crescent, like I said. You're not in a straight line. This is a classic Pilates move. You're going to take your top leg and kind of point your toes, and you're going to draw your toes along your body, along your bottom leg, sorry. Lift this leg up and bring it down. So drawing toes, kind of like you're drawing a line along your body, along your, I keep saying body, your lower leg, kind of up towards your knee, and then you're gonna straighten your leg, bring it down. Drawing, like I actually have a seam on my leggings that I'm kind of drawing along that seam, lifting up, lowering down. Drawing along, lifting up, lowering down. Our core is engaged here to keep us from wobbling all over the place. We just have one more here and then one final exercise on this butt. Okay, and then we're finishing with some kicks. So leg is hip distance here. Our ankle, knee, and hip are all in a line. We're gonna kick forward and then kick back as much as you can and squeeze that butt as you kick back. You're kicking forwards, kicking back. Forwards and back. With this, our core is nice and tight. We have that like accordion kind of crunch to help keep us stabilized in that neutral spine. For 2. And last one. Oh my goodness. Okay. You can hit it out. Do whatever feels nice. You can just roll over on the other side. I'm gonna switch sides on the mat so that you don't just look at my butt the whole time. Okay. So I'm sure there's some people on the internet who would like to do that because that is the internet. Okay. This is it, and then we're stretching. So, I'm gonna move some of this crap out of the way. All right. Hopefully my mic's okay. Oh, yeah, I'll put it up here. So, first and foremost, getting set up into our good form, our neutral spine. Hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked. Heels kind of in line with our bum for our clam to start with. Doesn't it feel like a while ago that we did clam? And if you find this leg harder, that's totally normal. It was helping to stabilize before, so it was already working a bit. All right, we've got 2 and 1. Leg goes out nice and straight. Really reach that leg nice and long. I'm flexing my foot. I'm reaching through my heel to turn on my bum a little bit more. And I should have mentioned this on the other side. I'm not, you'll see, like my leg's not going up super high because I'm trying to keep my neutral spine here. And I'm lengthening my leg. I'm also trying to lengthen through the torso. I'm not trying to like compress and crunch anything. You got 1 more. Now we have our turned in position. So your leg is straight. You're going to turn that thigh bone inwards in the hip socket. Our big toe is pointed down. Our knee is kind of pointed down. Our heel is up. Tapping that big toe down and then reaching up kind of through the heel towards the back of the room. But it's not just the ankle that's turned in. It's the entire thigh bone has turned in my hip joint. And if at any time this is like too much in this position, as I said, you can lie down. And I know you do want to look at your foot, and I'm looking at my foot a lot, but you don't want to be looking at it actually too much because you don't want to put that strain on your neck. So 1 more here. And then, oh, our inverted clam. And this is where I took a break last time, yeah. I'm gonna take a little break. If you want to get right into the inverted clam, you can. Get your heels in line with your bum. You're gonna lift your heels up, and we're opening and closing. As I said, the second side's always seems so much harder because it was already working. I don't know, I just think my right butt's weaker. Even though I'm right-handed and right dominant. Okay, 2 more. And last one. Okay, we have our arabesque. So your leg is kind of out in this crescent shape. If the crescent shape is too much, well, then just don't do the band. Or you can bend your knee. So you're going to take your top leg, take your toe and kind of draw it along like your inseam, reach up towards the sky, and then coming down. So you're pointing your toe at the beginning here, oops, and then reaching up, and then it's like you're bringing your heels together. All the while, if you need to have a hand on the mat to support you, go ahead. The goal is not to have that hand and keep your hips stacked. These bands can get annoying here when they are rolling all over the place. And we just have one more. That's why I generally prefer to do last one. And then we have our kicks. So our heel, knee, and hip are at the same height, and you're kicking forward and then kicking back, squeezing your butt a bit as you kick back. I generally prefer to do this kind of sideline work with like an ankle weight, just because the bands roll and are kind of annoying, but since we're already using the bands today, I didn't want to get out other stuff. And this is a lazy exercise, so you don't have to like be strapping on ankle weights, taking them off. We've got 2. And last one. Oh, we made it. Okay. Just a little stretch here. So you can come sitting up. You can do this lying down if you want. We are going to, I'm going to get rid of this. Where are we? Oh, I don't know why this isn't working. Oh, maybe because I took it off my wrist. I don't know. Okay, we're going to do a figure 4 stretch. So you can do this sitting on a chair if you want, or lying down, or on the mat here. Sometimes people just find the mat one a little bit more difficult. I'm going to cross one ankle over the other knee and then bring the other leg in. So I'm in this like figure 4 position, or some people call it a pretzel, I think. So the more you kind of lean into it, the more of a stretch you get, and the more you bring your other leg closer, the more of a stretch. But as I said, some people prefer to do this in other ways. And we're just going to do one more here. Then you're going to bring that leg down. You're going to bring that foot beside your knee. And we're going to do a little twist. So other hand. So you're kind of like twisting here. So my left leg is straight. My right leg is crossed over it. I'm going to take my left hand on my right thigh and then twist. So I'm twisting towards my bent knee side. And then we'll just reverse that. So now we'll just bend the other leg, twisting away. And then we'll bring that into our figure 4. So ankles already kind of crossed over. And you can sway if you want, or just stay static. Lean into it a bit. Hopefully your butt doesn't hurt too much tomorrow. And then we'll just do a little chest opener here. So, and you can kind of open up towards the ceiling, opening up your chest. You can drop one arm behind you and do kind of like an opening, twisting it out. And then let's do the other side, twisting. And then just a final tricep stretch. So patting yourself on the back in the middle, grabbing opposite elbow. And then other side. So I hope you enjoyed this little lazy lying down workout. Let me know if you like this, if you want to see more of this kind of thing, or if you prefer kind of the more sweaty standing up exercises. And as always, you can leave me a comment here or on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram and just, yeah, let me know what you want to see next. Thanks.